let's talk about Brock Purdy for a minute. Is he the long-term answer at quarterback for the 49ers?
I mean, I've been saying I think he is for a while. And I know people, they want to see more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to see more. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is the player that they've been looking for. He can read defenses. He throws with accuracy. He throws with confidence. The team believes in him. I think he's established himself now with the way, not just the fact that they won the game, but just didn't start well, didn't look good early, kept his poise, didn't turn it over. At the end of the day, he's throwing for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. I thought this was his. When you factor in, I know he completed 95% of them against the Cardinals. I know he lit up Dallas. But though Dallas was at home, Cardinals were at home, this is far different to go into Philadelphia and that cauldron. And with that, they still have good players on defense. It's not an elite defense, but, to go in there and to take care of the ball and to put up the kind of numbers he did, yeah, I think this was his best game.
No question. In a lot of ways, it reminded me of what Jimmy Garoppolo did against the Saints. How much people like Jimmy Garoppolo at that point. With Brock, that's a game. That's a career-defining game. But I still feel that decision is going to be based on what he does in the playoffs. And if you think about it, he's going to have 3 runs at a Super Bowl before they have to decide whether to give him an extension. He had last year. He got hurt. He'll have this year. He'll have next year. Then they'll make a decision. And if he doesn't win a Super Bowl this year or next year, you could say, well, if we couldn't win a Super Bowl with Brock making $900,000 a year, can we win a Super Bowl with Brock making $45 million or $50 million or $60 million a year because he won the MVP twice or something? That's a question. Or he wins a Super Bowl this year and they decide, yeah, he's really worth that much money, and he is worth that much money, and the Niners are in good hands for the next 10 years. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, all I'll say is this. Because nobody wants to hear me drone on and on and on about Brock Purdy.
Do.
But I will say one thing that I think is to me separates him from so many others. He's a second-year quarterback who you no longer can blitz. Now, there's all kinds of veteran quarterbacks that you don't want to blitz, right? Give them defined reads, but usually second-year quarterbacks are still in the, blitz him, speed him up. He'll make mistakes. Brock Purdy yesterday, when the Eagles blitzed, 10 for 10 for 213 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a perfect 158.3 passer rating. Even if you don't like passer rating as a stat, it's a perfect passer rating when blitzed. Most second-year quarterbacks, you feel like you can blitz them. You can mix it in here and there. You can speed him up. This guy is crucifying the blitz. So that to me is a major indicator that he's kind of an old soul. He's ahead of his time. He really is. It's like a veteran.
I still feel like there's a question with Brock. Is he an elite quarterback, or is he a perfect fit for this 49ers team, given what he's getting paid? And I would think, would say he's elite.
Well, I mean,
I don't mean to say that for you.
No, I
know. Let me ask you this. That's not the question. Let me ask you this. If you would redraft 2022, how high in the draft would he go?
Oh, there's no question he would go in the top 15 picks.
Okay. So Mac Jones was a top 15 pick.
Are you saying the 21? Or I think you meant the draft he was in.
2020. The one he was in, was that not 2020?
He was in 2022.
Right.
If he was in the Trey Lance draft, or if he was
no, the one he was in, the 2022 draft. If they could do that one again, would he be a top 5 pick?
Yeah, he's the best elite quarterback. I mean, Pickett went 20 or 21,
something like that. At 20, yeah.
He's better than Pickett for sure. He's better than all those guys. Corral, he's better than Ritter. He's better than all those guys. So I would say I think just because he doesn't have the stature, I would say he's not going to go top 10. Because there's a lot of great players in the top 10 of an NFL draft. Typically, I would say though he's the top half of the round. He's a middle first round draft choice if they're drafting again. I would say no doubt.
The reason I ask is like, look at CJ Stroud. Like he goes to the Texans who won 3 games last year, and all of a sudden they're 7-5. That to me is the real impact of an upper echelon quarterback. Like he can win almost anywhere. Whereas like if you put Brock on the Texans right now, would they be winning? Maybe. If you put Brock on the Jets right now, would they be winning? Maybe. But if you put Stroud on the Jets right now, would they win? I would think, yeah. Like that to me is the way I try to think about Brock. He is on the best team and he's really good too. So how do you separate what he does from what the Niners do? How much does he elevate them and how much do they elevate him? Try to picture him on the Texans. What does that look like?
I think he elevates the Niners more than they elevate him. Now, there'll be people that would say the opposite, right? That they, look at all these
hard to say.
weapons.
They're
Yeah, it is hard
good.
to say. But I will say this. They were averaging what were they averaging with Jimmy? 29.
Well, he is a lot better than Jimmy.
Right. He's better than Jimmy.
He's a lot better than Jimmy.
And they went from averaging 29 with Jimmy, who's a veteran, to 33 with Brock, who's a rookie. Now, he's
a backup quarterback.
He improved a lot from last year to this year. So now he's quite a bit better than the Brock that we saw last year. So I don't know. I would say he, elite is so tough, Grant, because
it's hard.
Man, you need to have those traits, and I don't want to get too far over our skis on this guy, but I will say that I think he's got enough of an arm, he's got enough of a physical profile to win with.
Yeah, I don't think the issue is his like skill set anymore. I think he's kind of proven that he can have a lot of success with his skill set. The question is like, can he do it 3 years in a row? Can you do it over time with different teams when there's injuries, that kind of stuff? Because right now, I think he's pretty much answered every question. But the long-term answer, I think it's just a good thing that the Niners don't necessarily have to answer that question yet.
He's the favorite as we're sitting here to win the MVP in his second year, which is hard to believe. Come on. I thought he was a hell of a player, and I've been saying it. I didn't think he was going to be the MVP. Come on. No, at no point did I say he was going to be the MVP. But that's
he's not the MVP yet.
No, but he's the favorite on December the 4th. What were the odds that you could have gotten on that?
You knew if he beat the Eagles big, he was going to be the favorite. Hurts was the favorite before that one. We'll see. We got five games left. Hey, if he loses to the Ravens in a few weeks, then Lamar Jackson will be the favorite to be the MVP. And ultimately, whoever wins that award doesn't matter. But it's cool.
Right.
I think it should be McCaffrey, but no one wants to hear that.